Israel, the world's one and only Jewish state. Home to biblical sites like Bethlehem and Nazareth and Jerusalem, arguably one of the most important cities in world history. And Israel is also at the center of one of the most divisive conflicts in modern times. But how did things get here? How did the region come to be occupied by foreign powers, ruled by ancient empires, become the center of three major religions, and then become the modern state of Israel? To answer that question, we are going to do what this channel does best, which is give you the entire history of a topic in under 8 minutes. So let's dive right into the entire history of Israel. We're going to start our story around 3000 BCE with the Canaanites, one of the earliest known cultures in the Levant region, today known as Canaan. The Fertile Crescent was home to some of the first human settlements and city-states, and by 3000 BCE, it was home to the Canaanite civilization. These people would be the ancestors of many groups that would inhabit the land over the next few millennia, including the Israelites, Philistines, and Phoenicians. Moving forward to 2000 BCE, the region would be inhabited by the Hebrew or Israelite people. Now, there's a little bit of debate about where exactly the Israelites originated from, but scholars generally agree that they migrated to Canaan from a region known as Mesopotamia. Over time, the Israelites would conquer much of Canaan and establish a monarchy with the city of Jerusalem as its capital. This period would be known as the Kingdom of Israel, and it would last until 930 BCE. When the kingdom split into two separate states, the Kingdom of Israel in the north and the Kingdom of Judah in the south. During the 9th century BCE, both kingdoms would be conquered by the Assyrians and later the Babylonians. However, the region would be retaken by the Persians, who would allow the Jews, followers of Judaism, to return to their ancestral lands. This would mark the beginning of the Second Temple period. During this time, the Jews rebuilt their temple in Jerusalem and re-established their religious and cultural institutions. In 63 BCE, the region would be conquered by the Roman Empire and would become known as Judea. Over the next few centuries, the Jews would rebel against Roman rule 3 times, with the most notable being the Great Revolt, also known as the War of the First Jewish-Roman War. The revolt began in 66 CE and ended in 73 CE with the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans. This event would have a profound impact on Jewish history and culture and would contribute to the diaspora of the Jewish people. After the fall of the Second Temple, the region would come under the control of various foreign powers, including the Arab armies of the Rashidun Caliphate and the Ottoman Empire. During this time, the land would be known as Palestine. In the early 20th century, the Zionist movement emerged as a response to centuries of anti-Semitism and persecution of Jews throughout Europe. The movement called for the establishment of a Jewish state in the ancient homeland of Israel. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, which expressed support for the establishment of a Jewish national home in Palestine. This declaration was seen as a major victory for the Zionist movement. However, the road to independence was not easy. The British authorities often favored the Arabs over the Jews, and there was growing tension between the two groups. The situation became increasingly volatile after the end of World War II and the Holocaust, which had a profound impact on world Jewry. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a plan to partition Palestine into 2 separate states, one Jewish and one Arab. The plan was accepted by Jewish leaders but rejected by the Arab leaders. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the leader of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. This was just days after the British left the region on May 15, 1948. This date is considered to be Israel's Independence Day. However, the establishment of the State of Israel was met with immediate hostility from neighboring Arab nations. On the same day, 5 Arab armies invaded the new state. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Israeli forces were able to hold off the invaders. This conflict, known as the Arab-Israeli War, lasted until 1949 and resulted in Israel gaining more territory than had been allocated to them in the UN partition plan. In the aftermath of the war, hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs fled or were expelled from their homes and became refugees in neighboring countries. This event had a lasting impact on the region and contributed to the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Over the next few decades, Israel would face several wars with its Arab neighbors. including the Six-Day War in 1967 and the Yom Kippur War in 1973. The Six-Day War resulted in Israel gaining control of the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and the Sinai Peninsula. The Yom Kippur War, while tactically inconclusive, had a profound impact on Israel's foreign policy and defense strategy. In the late 20th century, Israel would experience a period of economic and technological growth. It became a major center for technology and innovation, earning it the nickname Startup Nation. It also made significant contributions to fields such as medicine, agriculture, and science. Despite this progress, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remained a major point of contention on the international stage. The Israeli occupation of Palestinian territory, the status of Jerusalem, and the treatment of Palestinian refugees were among the most contentious issues. Numerous peace negotiations were attempted, but a lasting solution eluded world leaders. In recent years, the conflict has seen a resurgence with increased violence and tensions. The rise of Islamic extremism in the Palestinian territories has contributed to a more volatile situation. Groups such as Hamas and Islamic State have carried out attacks against Israeli targets. Israel's response has been to impose stricter security measures, including the construction of a security barrier. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has had a profound impact on both peoples and the wider region. It has led to instability, violence, and a loss of innocent lives. The conflict has also been a major obstacle to peace and cooperation in the Middle East. Today, Israel is a vibrant democracy with a strong economy and a rich cultural heritage. It is home to people of various religions and backgrounds who contribute to its dynamic society. The country's commitment to innovation and its strategic location make it a significant player on the global stage. However, the shadow of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to loom large. The ongoing occupation, the status of Jerusalem, and the plight of Palestinian refugees remain major challenges. Resolving this conflict is crucial not only for the future of Israel and Palestine, but also for the stability of the Middle East region. As we look ahead, it is essential for Israel to uphold its democratic values, protect the rights of all its citizens, and seek a just and lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Only through dialogue, compromise, and a commitment to peace can lasting stability and security be achieved. There are multiple viewpoints and perspectives on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and it is important to consider a range of sources and opinions to gain a comprehensive understanding of this complex issue. So what are your thoughts on the history of Israel? What surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments below. As I mentioned, this whole video was a super quick overview of the history of Israel. If you want to learn more, I highly recommend checking out some additional resources. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new.